What up, Vikings world? Guess what day it is? You know what time it is. It's Hump Day. We're going to get right back into it with the guys from Skol Sessions. My guy, Zach, my guy, Dre. Right after this.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Mike. Mike. What day is it, Mike? What day is it, Mike? What day? Uh-oh.
It's Hump Day.
Hump Day! Hump Day! Huh? Anybody?
It's Hump Day.
Hey.
Going on?
What up? Hey, we got Zach and Dre from Skol Sessions. How you guys doing tonight?
Feeling good, feeling good.
Doing good, man. I was jamming out to that intro, man. That was cool.
We like that. Yeah, I was telling Dre about your intro, man. Your the way you do your videos. We like that.
Hey, we got a couple shouts out. We got Purple and Skull Media in the building. What up?
What's going on?
We got Too Evil to Hope in the building.
Yes, sir.
Hey, my guy, D Woods, Midnight in the building.
That's
and
cool.
Alvin, also known as Harms, Skull.
That's awesome.
And
That's
Gary,
awesome.
Gary, Skullmates in the building. Hey, the pinned comment in the link is for Skol Sessions. So you guys be sure to get a chance. Click that link. Give the guys a sub because we're gonna they're new to the Vikings community, and you know how we do it in the Purple Gang. We're gonna show love. So, first question: how do you guys become Vikings fans?
Go first.
ahead.
You want me to go?
Go ahead.
So I'm 6'3". So growing up, being over 6 feet tall and a stick, and wanted to play wide receiver. So of course, Randy Moss was like everything to me. I'm like, that is the guy I want to play like, when I was playing football. And kind of just stuck with the team, Dante Culpepper, get your roll on, those days. And it just kind of stuck with me, man. I love the way Randy Moss played. I thought he was the best, the greatest receiver ever. I know some don't think it's a debate with Jerry Rice, but it's just a guy I just stuck with. And I love the purple ever since, man. Been a huge Vikings fan. So it's been painful, but I stayed with the team. So
that's what's up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and mine honestly is similar kind of story. Randy Moss was the guy that, I basically fell in love with the Vikings watching Moss, watching Culpepper. I still got a little Culpepper jersey that my kid wears that I used to wear when I was little. So
that's cool.
Those guys were highly influential at that time.
Mm-hmm.
See, I didn't become a Vikings fan until 2001, and that's only because my brother got drafted to the Vikings. So before, don't hate me.
Oh,
I
man.
was a Packers fan.
Oh, man. I knew you were going to say that.
Come on.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay.
It was more, I was a fan. I grew up in California, so I grew up a Raiders fan, but I was a fan of Reggie White. But as soon as 2001 hit, it was FTP all the way.
Okay. That's cool. That's awesome, man.
So my first question of the day, because even though he's hurt, we got to know your guys' stands.
Yeah.
Are you guys Kirk stands?
Hey, I got my tea. We're ready.
I'm gonna let my wonderful partner go ahead and answer that first.
So this is really funny because we have these conversations probably daily about Kirk Cousins. Me and Dre, offline, and I'm a huge Kirk Cousins fan. I've been a kind of supporter his whole time in Minnesota, I'm all for kind of re-signing Kirk Cousins. And, I think he was playing the best ball of his career before he went down with the Achilles injury. And I think him and O'Connell just have a connection, and he just brings the best out of Kirk Cousins. So I'm a Kirk Cousins fan, and, Dre's complete opposite, which you'll hear right about now.
So Me personally, man, I feel like we've had Kirk Cousins for how many years? And every year it's, oh, if the offensive line gets better, oh, if the weapons are good, Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, oh, the defense is what's the shortcoming. And then he's had, years where the defense wasn't necessarily an issue. Last year in that Donashell scheme, I hear you, but for me, it's like there's been so many chances and so many years that he hasn't gotten us to that dance. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think that documentary on Netflix proved,
Right.
he's a good guy to root for. I need a little bit more, man. I personally need a little bit more. He's 36. He's coming off of an awful injury that he obviously can't control, but you can't play that dance forever. Because while you're playing that dance, there's other teams that are taking those chances on drafting quarterbacks. Some miss, some don't, and they land on their guy that's on a better contract, and they have a better chance in the future. So I'm not necessarily a Kirk Cousins guy per se.
Did we just become best friends?
Oh man.
No. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, Kirk Cousins has gotten us. I mean, we know what we get with Kirk Cousins. I mean,
Exactly.
he is the last of the pure, almost pocket passer. That style of football to where
That's true.
once we got Dobbs, we'll talk about Dobbs later.
Oh man.
But I mean, the Rocket Man, and we
Right.
saw that the first two games and a glimpse of having a
Right.
mobile quarterback.
Right.
I got heavy,
Right.
to where
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
just a glimpse of that. I mean, speaking of Dobbs, I mean, how do you guys feel about the decision him starting?
So I didn't like it. I didn't like him starting. Based on what me and Dre discussed, that the only kind of question mark left on our roster for quarterbacks is Jaren Hall. He had that one drive before he went out with a concussion, but there's still it's up in the air. And I feel like we needed to know going into this year's offseason, to draft a QB, is Jaren Hall just going to, be a second, third string, player his whole career, or is he going to be the number one guy? So, with Josh Dobbs, I actually tweeted this out today. I think with KOC starting Dobbs, I think he's trying to protect Jaren Hall, which in my mind, it makes it even more of a case for them to re-sign Kirk Cousins, because they're thinking, well, we got time with Jaren Hall, so we're not going to rush him. We don't need to rush him. He's going to be sitting under Kirk Cousins for a couple more years. That's my theory right now. I don't know why they went with Dobbs. He clearly is not the best passer. So that's kind of my take on Josh Dobbs. I'm excited. I feel like he brings the most excitement to this Sunday,
Right.
especially with Justin Jefferson coming back. But I'm not for Josh Dobbs. Nah.
See, I'm hoping it's the opposite of what you just said, and
Yeah.
that they saw
Thank you.
Jaren Hall in practice, because
you.
right now he's listed behind Mullins.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? I
Right.
mean, they got him
Right.
as the 3, so
Right.
if they don't even have him listed as the 2, to where
Right.
I'm thinking, hopefully they're like, you know what? We've seen enough of him in practice to where
Could be.
That's true.
Yeah.
that we're just gonna roll with Dobbs.
That's true.
Wherever we fall, the quarterback draft class is going to be high with quarterbacks, to where
That's
wherever we fall, we'll just roll with Dobbs,
Right.
and we're going to be able to get our quarterback of the future. And I know who I want.
Who you want?
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden. Okay.
Who
Okay.
would you guys want? If you were the GM and picking a quarterback in the first round,
Go ahead, Dre.
what would you get?
So to answer the last question, I personally wanted Jaren Hall to play too. In an essence of, we know what we have with the other quarterbacks, right? These are veteran quarterbacks, journeyman quarterbacks per se, where maybe they switch different teams, but they are who they are at this point in their career. Josh Dobbs, even on our, on our podcast, like the first 2 weeks, it was like Josh Dobbs, like he's that guy. Like
2 words.
yeah.
Dobbs.
So
That's it.
we're like, this is it. Like, and it's like you said, it's like refreshing. Like, oh wait, this team's not awful without number 8 behind them. Like they can still win games and make it exciting. That's what we brought an offensive minded head coach in for. That's what I thought, right? So I wanted Jaren Hall. We did have 2 drives. The young man had happy feet, man. He finally got into his first NFL start in the regular season. Bullets are flying around everywhere. It's one thing when you're in training camp and you're throwing it and they can't touch you. It's another thing when you got a 6'8" dude that runs 4 or 5 coming at your head. So like, I just felt like the happy feet and him not learning to dive, these are all things that he's going to fix. The more he plays in the game, it's going to slow down and he's going to be good. I like Jaren Hall, and I think there is something there. And maybe it's me wanting Cousins gone, but I really think there's something there. He's a 5th rounder, but he's mature. I like the way he throws the ball. It's more anticipation than pure arm strength. And then he has a little wiggle where if he needs to run, he will, but that's not his game. Like, I like that. I'm a fan of that. Quarterbacks, man, Caleb Williams is gone. So we can go ahead and chalk that up. We can chalk Drake May up, right? Those 2 guys are gone unless you go and trade JJ, 5 first-round draft picks, and the rest of your team for those 2 guys. I personally like this is going to be a weird reasoning. Penix Jr., there's something about his energy and his aura that gives me this Deshaun Watson type in regards of when Deshaun Watson was in Clemson, where you're always in the game with a quarterback like that. They're in the playoffs for a reason, right? They don't have as many 5-star recruits as somewhere like Bama, right? And he doesn't have as many tools per se like Michigan's offensive line, but guess what? They're figuring out ways to win. And he's the leader of that team. I want somebody like that, where you always have a chance when the game's on the line, not like the playoffs where you just throw it short when it mattered against the Giants, but somebody when it's always on the line is you have a shot. I like Penix Jr. That's my guy in that draft.
I wouldn't be surprised with the Penix Jr. pick because he is more of a pocket passer,
right?
To where he's pass first, run when necessary.
Second. Right, exactly.
Where I could see that happen. Skol State of Mind asked, where are y'all located?
ATL, ANTA.
Yeah, so I'm actually located in DC. I live in Maryland.
Zach, who's your guy? Who's your quarterback?
Who's my guy? We agree on this, Dre. So I'm gonna go with Penix Jr. as well. I like his pocket passing ability, and if you go look at the close games, he's had their team in every game. He's beaten Caleb Williams. He's beaten Bo Nix.
That's true.
So I like those close games, and he came out on top. I think it looks good.
That's true.
And I told Dre knows this, but Penix Jr., his dad was my defensive coordinator when my junior year of high school. So I know the Penix. Yeah, I know the Penix family really well. They're great people. I mean, just he's a class act of a dude, and no, I'm definitely rooting for Penix to come, to stay in purple for sure.
Hey, a fun fact: you seen Penix Jr. He's already a Minnesota Viking because when it was a game-winning field goal, he was turning around like, "Oh, Lord, please don't miss this field goal." He was like, "Please."
Oh my God!
Hey, okay. In Minnesota, we do that all the time.
So I got a pet peeve about this: kickers wearing single digits and low numbers. How do you feel about that?
Man, look, unless you're Justin Tucker,
but just see the kicker wearing number 1, it just does not sit right with me.
No, unless you're Justin Tucker, I don't want you wearing the single digit.
Yeah. I mean, hey man, as a Vikings fan, I don't care if you're wearing 0. Just make the kicks, make the extra points at that or the
man.
Goals. Like it is weird looking though, especially when you have players that could need that type of number, right? Like Ivan Pace Jr. He's a dog. Get rid of that training camp undrafted scrub number. Give him a single digit number. Like he needs whatever he wants at this point. The way he's been playing, man.
Hey, hold on.
Let's see it.
Ivan Pace is a dog.
Yeah, he is.
Yes, sir.
Hey, give him the 0.
Yes,
Agent
sir.
Zero, baby.
Hey, I was telling Zach when Marcus Davenport finally leaves, it's time to give him that. It's time to give him that 0 jersey. When
Yeah. So
Davenport leaves,
once Davenport is off the team, man, he needs to
right,
rock that 0.
right,
Man.
absolutely. Hey,
Man.
your boy Davenport came in for what? One game, tore it up, and then went right back to the sidelines for another
Yeah.
4 weeks.
Man, he's all, you
Hey.
know what? 18 mil. I'll give you 1.5 sacks.
Hey, yeah, hey.
That's it.
And went back to go pick up a clipboard for the rest of the season. Y'all boys
Yeah,
go
exactly.
do what y'all need to do.
So I'm gonna bring up this gentleman right here.
Okay.
KOC. Ooh. So first 4 games,
Right.
I was keen. Trade his ass, trade him to the Chargers, whatever. Then the 49ers game came
Right.
out. And I was like, you know what? Okay. He's playing right.
Right.
Then
Right.
he went back to his conservative play to where, I mean, even the last game.
I like this guy.
Even the last game, I mean, okay, we know Dobbs is better when he's rolling out the pocket, mobile, moving the pocket.
Right.
The first 3 quarters, I didn't see one play action, no RPOs.
Right.
To where the one drive we scored touchdown, guess what? He was rolling out the pocket, making plays with his feet. Then the very next drive, it was like KOC said, you know what? That worked too fucking well.
Madison. because Madison's been killing it this season. So game on the line.
Yeah. Let's give the rock to Madison. How do you guys feel about his play calling?
Hey, all I'm gonna say is this, Zach. If he ever gets a new job, it should be a defense attorney for Kevin O'Connell and for Kirk Cousins, because they can't do no wrong. They can't do no wrong.
No. I know. I agree with you. I think because me and Dre, it's funny that everything you're bringing up, me and Dre to discuss that, and Kevin O'Connell needs to be less conservative, man. I do think that, but I will say, in my opinion, if you go back and look when we had Kirk Cousins, we were slinging the ball down the field. But now that we have Josh Dobbs and he's been a turnover machine, I feel like it's a lot of chaos going on inside what they're trying to do. So I definitely agree with the statement that he's been too conservative.
Right.
I'm just kind of like, well, let's just see how it plays out, because if it stays like this, then it needs to be like highly addressed.
Right.
I mean, you can't keep calling these plays. Can't be run the ball with Madison, who's been fumbling the ball. But yeah, no, I think the play calling, the conservative play calling has been due to Josh Dobbs just, turning the ball over, having an opportunity to turn the ball over almost every drive, if you go back and look. So I don't know. I could be wrong. We'll find out if we get in a streak and Dobbs lights it up this week or whatever. But I'm hoping I'm wrong and KOC just, figures it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I got a question. So we got 5 more games. How many games? If we miss the playoffs, is he on the hot seat?
Nah.
Or is it going to be, well, we lost Kirk Cousins, we lost Justin Jefferson.
That's what's going to be.
He's going to get a pass. Do you think it's going to be more of he's going to get a pass and it was just working with what he got?
Yeah.
I will say that I think for the both of you guys, y'all better hope Josh Dobbs goes off, because if he doesn't, number 8's come walking back through the door.
Jeez. Hey, man. This is what I told Zach. I had this analogy on one episode. This is just like you dating a girl. You guys been dating for like 6 years, 5 years, right? And things are good, but there's no spark, and she's not making you the best man you want to be. So you guys finally split up, and you like date this girl that's just awful. Like the first girl you date is just awful, and you're like, well, I guess I got to go back to what was good for me the past 5 years. Like that is nuts to me. If you have a journeyman quarterback and a 5th round draft pick quarterback that don't do what they're probably not supposed to do or going to do, that doesn't mean you go right back to the guy that hasn't been doing it for the past 5 years. Like, give yourself a shot to find the one, find the love of your life. Give somebody that rose, like get somebody special in there. But
We got
I don't.
nephew in the building. What up, JJ Vikings?
JJ, what's good,
JJ.
bro? So I hope that the Vikings can be better than that, where it's not like, oh well, these quarterbacks failed, so let's just stick with what we know, because what we know is first round in the playoffs, we're going home, or we don't make the playoffs at all. Like, I need something a little bit different than that, man. Like, I need something different than that. O'Connell. It sucks because he has a defensive coordinator that's about to get a head coaching job next year. And if that man wasn't coaching the way he's coaching with, not elite defensive talent, but is getting the best out of those guys, O'Connell, I feel like, would be more on the hot seat with Vikings fans, because that defense is keeping us in games, especially recently. I get, obviously Cousins is hurt, but we brought you in to be an offensive-minded head coach. There's no excuse. Kyle Shanahan has a guy that's in the 7th round running running the quarterback position, and he seems to be getting the job done with the tools and what they got going on in San Fran. So it just, to me, it's kind of an excuse. But to answer your question, what us Viking fans and as a whole, I feel like the organization would be like, hey, your best players were out. I get that you were kind of on the fly trying to adjust to the new quarterbacks that you have in there on the fly. Let's get these guys healthy, and let's try to run this back next year with a full off season and see what you got. He had a hell of a season last year. You can't take that away from him. So
what's so funny is like the Purple and Skull media chat is like split almost, I would say about 75-25, to where you got the SKs, the Dave from Minnesota Sports Talk.
Right.
They're on the line of Zach of, you guys better prepare because Kirk Cousins is coming back. Then you got me, Justin from Purple and Gold for Days, Rap from Purple Pocket Podcast, and we're like, by any means necessary, Zone from In the Zone Podcast.
Right.
Do not bring him back. I mean, just rip the Band-Aid off. Get rid of that 28 mil void year. Quit kicking it down the line and just –
Hey, Yogi, I got a question. I think there's some players that need some big boy contracts coming up too. Justin Jefferson, and I think the defensive MVP, number 99, he's going to want some money too, right?
So I want Danielle Hunter to come back and retire a Viking. What's your guys' thoughts?
Hey, you can't have it all. You can't have that 36-year-old quarterback, Danielle Hunter. That left tackle, he's going to need a contract pretty soon too. And you got one of the best players in the league that we can say what we want. Obviously, he had an injury, but you would be crazy to think that contract wasn't something that he's like, hey, you need to take care of me, because I'm not going to just rush out there if, I'm not taken care of. He's going to need his money too. So it's like, Danielle Hunter, I want him to stay. I feel like the Vikings the past few years have been doing this thing where it's like, okay, we'll give you this one extra year, or we want to see how you play because of the neck injury and things like that. The man came back and he proved it. He proved it. So if you're not going to pay him, somebody else will.
Gary says, Kirk or Hunter? So
Hunter.
So I just pulled up Over the Cap, and there's some other free agents I want to ask you about.
Okay.
Reisner, would you bring him back?
Go ahead, Zach. I'm gonna let you go.
I would.
On that one.
I bring Reisner back. I think he's been playing elite since he's been on. I mean, for just coming in midway through the season, I like Reisner. If we can get him for a good price.
Yes, Kwesi, and how Kwesi is as a GM, as we've seen. Hey, if you're not gonna fit this price point, adios. Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, like, we love you guys. You've been, you'll be purple forever. But if it doesn't fit this, you're gone. Reisner's a little bit older. If the price is right, 2 years maybe, come on back.
DJ Wanham.
If Brian Flores comes back, I want DJ Wanham. If not, he can leave.
I like that.
The thing is, man, with those type of players, like, they pop right when that money's due.
Yep.
Right when it's time to pay. He's been playing hella good this year. Like, extremely, extremely good this year. Opposite Danielle Hunter. Like we said, Marcus Davenport, he grabbed a tablet, grabbed a Gatorade. He's enjoying the season. You know, he's got the best seats in the house. So,
Facts.
I don't know, man. Price is right. That's all I can say. If the price is right, 2 years, maybe a 2-year middle tier defensive end contract. If he doesn't like it, let's go get somebody in free agency that can fill that role.
So speaking of free agency, okay, let's pretend you guys are GMs. Do you think we draft for needs and fill with free agency, or use free agency to fill needs and just draft BPA? How what's your guys' mindset? How would you approach it if you were the GM?
Go ahead, Zach.
Go ahead, Dre.
Me personally, if you're drafting for need, you're going to continue to draft for need. Adam Thielen was gone. KJ stepped up the last season, so we didn't really need a receiver. On top of, we had who's our receiver that got injured this year, but it's real quick. Jalen Naylor.
Yeah.
Jalen Naylor. Like, you didn't need a receiver, right? But my goodness, aren't you happy you drafted one when he was there? Like, Jordan Addison is a dog. So for me personally, in free agency, use that money to fill the needs, like offensive line, defensive line. We can do all this, you know, all these teams do these different things, but you notice the playoff teams, Philly, San Francisco, they got offense and defensive line that's going to line up and play playoff football. And the Vikings, I feel like the offensive line is getting better, but that defensive line is still weak in that regards. Fill those needs. Get another linebacker. Hicks has been playing. Like, where the hell was this at the past, 2 years or last year when we got him in there? Hicks is playing good, but get another young guy. If Asamoah's not ready for whatever reason, like, fill that need. Maybe another corner. I like the way our young corners are playing. And go into the draft and whatever's available to you, make a good team great. My personal opinion.
Love it.
What you think, Zach? Talk to me.
I like what you said. I like what you said. But I think Minnesota has a tendency to draft based on not just need in the draft, just draft the best guy they think's on the board, at least the tendency to.
Right.
So I like the idea of just filling in the free agency spots where we need them, and then going heavy, going like big name in the draft. Like, if he's still on the board, just get him. I don't care what, wide receiver. Don't just get him. Pull him off.
You know what drives me crazy though with Kwesi, man? He it's kind of like he's cute in the draft. Let's trade back. Let's accumulate some more draft picks. You have Kyle Hamilton on the board. You have Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, that right there, man.
You have Kyle Hamilton on the board. And I'm like, Zach, I called Zach. I'm like, it was finally our draft pick. I'm like, yo, we can get Kyle Hamilton. And then Minnesota, with Spillman, he would do it too. We traded back, and I'm like, come on, bro. The Ravens for me always get the draft picks I always wanted, like, because they usually draft like right before us or right after us, and it's always players I wanted. Kyle Hamilton, I think PFF, he's like a top 5 safety. He's probably gonna go to a Pro Bowl this year. I think ours is doing punt returns at the moment.
See, I'm a little split on that. So right now, my way of thinking is, if we're on the board and Jaden Daniels is there, you grab him. If he's not there, I would trade back to one of the later back of the round, so I could probably pick up another second or a third, because we don't have a third round.
True.
Then grab either Michael Penix or JJ McCarthy.
Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like if Penix does what he's been doing and he makes noise in the playoffs, is he going to be there in that 15 to 25 range? Or do you think NFL loves
so, because
that?
of his knee injury history.
Okay. That's going to pull him back a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, I would love that.
Me too.
I would love that.
Now, do you guys think B-Flow's going to be a Viking next year?
I don't. I can see him coaching for the Commanders. You got, that whole new GM organization. I can see him heading over to Washington.
Hey, I told Zach, like, week 4, I said, I don't know. The Vikings need to talk to Brian Flores, his assistant defensive back coordinator, or whoever on that like scheme, and just be like, hey, we need you to at least stay because we obviously know the big man's leaving, but just to keep some resemblance of that scheme. But also, man, some people just have that magic. You can do that, and it's still not going to be the same,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
I
we
need
can't
the
have nice
Wills to
things,
go up
man.
to B Floral and say, we're going to make you assistant head coach. We'll pay you $1 million less than KOC.
Right.
Just stay here.
Yeah. And you know what? Kevin O'Connell's so nice. He'd be like, yeah, come on. Yeah, come on.
I mean,
Zimmer wasn't doing that.
If we want to, if the Vikings want to compete next year, we need Brian Flores.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that we need Brian Flores.
Yeah, we do. So this is my question to you guys. Obviously, this would never happen, but the way the defense has been playing, the way the offense has been kind of shaky. If you were the GM, who are you taking as your head coach into the next year? Brian Flores or Kevin O'Connell? If you had the freedom to like do whatever you wanted.
Oh, B-Flow all the way.
B-Flow?
All right. So I'm taking KOC. I'm gonna tell you why. We had Zimmer, who had our defense playing. I think 2017 it was ranked number 1 at one point. So I like the way the NFL is heading is pass. It's offensive minded.
Right.
Most teams do put up points. You know, Brian Flores is doing something that nobody's really doing this year. I will say that, but you know, the NFL is really good about figuring out eventually defenses, figuring out tendencies and things like that. Offenses, head coach, you know.
Right.
So I would say KOC. I love Brian Flores. I'm on top of a table for him. Like, he's the guy. He needs to stay.
Right.
But as far as head coach, being able to talk to the team, you know, building that culture, that like positivity culture, I think KOC has that in the bag.
Yeah.
Those guys do play for him. Not saying they wouldn't play for Brian Flores, but I would like to see KOC. I think what we're doing right now, I can see some light. I can see some hope.
So in a perfect world, I would like KOC to give up play calling.
Yes.
Make Brian Flores the highest assistant head coach, highest paid defensive coordinator in the league, and grab a different either Phillips actually calling the plays or bring someone in with a nice offense to be the yin and yang to B-Flow, and KOC focused on the defense and the offense and give up play calling. That, in a perfect world, that's what I would love.
I got you. I don't know. We'll see. Me personally, Zach, you said, you know, that the team is playing for O'Connell. I think that's true, but that defense is playing for Flores, bro. Because you know how many 3 and outs or how many interceptions that any other defense would be like, are y'all going to, you know, help us out? The Bears, they shut them down the whole game.
Oh yeah.
And it's not an excuse, but that defense finally just got tired. Like, they were on the field the whole game. So eventually, like you said, it's an offensive driven league. Eventually something's going to pop. You keep putting the defense out there, and you have a medium quarterback, a decent quarterback, something's going to pop. DJ Moore, field goal range, ball game.
Well, the Bear. I mean, he locked the Bears down. He's locked the Broncos down, even when they were on their little hot streak. Even though they beat us, he locked them down the whole game.
Right.
But they got tired, like you said.
Yeah.
So even with the bye, we slipped up to the 6th seed. The Packers have slipped into the 7th seed. So facing the Raiders, they're 5-7 right now.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel is it going to take for us to win?
To win and get in the playoffs?
Yeah, go ahead,
Joe. We'll go one game at a time.
Okay. So we're talking Raiders.
We're talking Raiders. What do we got to do to beat the Raiders?
All right. So me personally, the scheme, Josh Dobbs needs to get out of that pocket Josh Dobbs needs to run around a little bit, play a little bit of that, backyard football that we fell in love with the first 2 weeks. If it is Madison or Chandler, hopefully Chandler, get that running game going. You have one of the best players in the NFL coming back, but that doesn't mean that we force it to him, because Josh Dobbs doesn't throw the ball like Kirk Cousins. And Josh Dobbs is one of the best. I think he targets tight end like one of the most out of any quarterback. You just got a tight end that was paid big boy money. You got a tight end that's been playing good football.
And the Raiders can't cover tight ends that well.
Exactly. That fourth quarter, he caught that touchdown and made it a game against the Bears. So it's like, get that tight end involved, get the running game involved, a little bit of that play action. And I'm pretty sure one of those 2 receivers you have on the end, them corners are going to have to loosen up a little bit, because they'll be open for a shot or 2. But I just need Josh Dobbs not to throw it out of bounds when that shot is open.
Man,
when that shot's available, I think they win. I mean, my prediction is the Vikings win.
Yeah.
So that's just and then let that defense play.
As long as Josh Dobbs don't turn the ball over, I see us, I see us beating the Raiders. I really do. Basically,
Right.
Aiden O'Connell, he's a turnover machine, the quarterback for the Raiders. He's got 6 interceptions, I believe, 4 touchdowns. He's a turnover machine.
Right.
So I think Brian Flores dials it up and we get the win. But I'm curious to see how the offense does with JJ coming back. It's a big day big game for JJ. Right. So I want to see how involved O'Connell gets him, like right off the jump. He's probably going to screen, he'll probably get him involved real quick.
Yeah.
And, that'll make Josh Dobbs more comfortable having JJ, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm just curious to see, because look, we all know this. We know that they're going to be open.
Right.
From what we've seen in the past with Kirk Cousins, they're going to be open, and JJ is going to be open. So if he's not Josh Dobbs isn't giving them the ball, he's going to be on a short leash.
Do you think we roll? What's it going to take for us to sit Dobbs?
Okay. So for me, we lose the Vegas game. And say we lose the Vegas game, but it's a close game, they won't sit him. But say we lose the Vegas game, and then your boy, the quarterback for the Bengals,
Washington Huskies, Jake Browning.
Jake Browning's gonna come to Minnesota and be like, this, you guys shouldn't have got rid of me. If we lose to the Bengals and the Raiders, I mean, you got to look at the future. You got to look at the future. I know we got some veterans in there. I know the TED Talks, and we're in this, and we're a team, and we need to play for this season. You lose those 2 games, let's look at the future. So I'd say 2 losses, or Josh Dobbs plays that type of performance he played against the Chicago Bears, where it's just ugly. You got to pull him, because like Zach says, now you got one of the best players in the NFL, and he will express how he feels with body language. I don't know if you ever see him when we lose, or when Cousins is doing cousin things, the shoulders shrugging, he's kind of on the sidelines by himself, like kind of spaced out. His body language will show, and he's a leader on the team, a captain on the team. You don't want that guy pissed off.
Right.
So that's my opinion.
Yeah, because if Kevin O'Connell don't make the decision, 3rd quarter, 3 interceptions, JJ will make it.
You gonna put those glasses on.
Okay, so here is a question, and it's just a hypothetical. Again, chat, it's just a hypothetical. If a GM called you, let's say the Kansas City Chiefs called you and said, we'd give you a first, a second, a third, and a 2025 first for Justin Jefferson, would you do it, or would you even think about it?
No.
Hell no. Nah. I need at least 3 first rounders. At least 3 first rounders to have that conversation. For me to even pick up the phone, I need your first. Maybe you're a team that has 2 firsts this year. I need at least 3 first rounders for us to have a conversation. He's a once in a lifetime type of player. And I'm not just giving him away, especially not to no Chiefs, so they can go win, 3 more Super Bowls? Hell no. I'm good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I couldn't give up JJ.
Bro, could you imagine like watching it's the Chiefs, they're gonna play the highlights, and you see JJ just over there grittying, and they up 54 to 6 against like the Chargers, and he over there just grittying, getting busy.
And just remember, chat, it's just a hypothetical. Because whenever I bring up that question, man, fucking fools me down my throat.
hey, they say you about to trade him tomorrow? What in the world's going on? No, man, we need JJ. We need JJ to stay, man, and we need him to be happy. So he's gonna get paid good, and I think he wants to know that clarity at quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If his BFF is number 8, I mean, you gotta at least have that conversation with him and have that consideration. You know what I mean? If he really wants Cousins back, you gotta have that conversation. So
I'm about to check something.
You talking about the moment where you put the top 10 chain on Cousins after the primetime win?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when he come in an astronaut T-shirt after Dobbs wins the Vegas game?
Well,
Hey, there's 11 people watching right now. Be sure to click that pinned comment. That's the link for Skol Sessions YouTube channel. Be sure to click that link. Get my guys a sub. Hey, you're gonna be seeing a lot of them. They're awesome. Part of the purple community now. So
love it.
Appreciate the love.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Speaking of the Miss Sarah. Sarah is in the building. She is a Vi queen. So
okay.
What up, Sarah? You'll be seeing this name a lot, and she goes into the Lions chats and the Bears chat. And she be repping for the Vikings.
She's okay.
Yeah, she goes hard for the Vikings. Okay. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, she's the queen.
That's what I like to hear. What about you? You asked that question. What do you think needs to be done draft wise or trade wise for you to give up number 18?
Me?
Yes, sir.
It's a hypothetical in the chat.
Hypothetically.
Right.
So a little bit. So me, I like the mock draft. I mock draft like crazy. I mean, I just found this other site that I've been playing around with, and so when I do it, I try to see, okay, if that phone call were to happen, what would our draft look like, and what free agencies or free agents we could pick up. To where I did one to where I was able to get Jaden Daniels, an edge rusher, a top defensive tackle, Chris Jenkins from Michigan.
Yeah.
A top running back.
Right.
And then with that, I was able to get that we go get the re-sign Hunter.
Oh.
And go attack and try to get the D lineman from the Chiefs.
Okay.
So when I think then I put it like this.
Okay.
Jaden Daniels, a future edge rusher, Chris Jones. Then I go, okay, so these 5 players to fill many holes.
Absolutely.
Or JJ, but I want JJ on the team. Let that be clear, everybody. I want JJ on the team. Don't hit up the DMs.
Think about it. What is this guy talking about? He wants JJ gone?
Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah, man. JJ's got to stay a Viking. It's not an option. If he's not a Viking, I need Quasi up out of there. I need O'Connell up out of there. I need anybody that has any type of leadership position whatsoever. I need the damn equipment manager up out of there. If we letting JJ leave, we need to do a whole reboot on that franchise. So
So how did you guys feel about Harbaugh not getting hired?
I liked him not getting it, and me and Dre discussed it, but he
Yeah.
reminds me of Mike Zimmer. I don't see the difference. He's old school. He's kind of in your face. Like I think
Right.
he's a little bit more dynamic on offense, obviously, than Mike Zimmer, but I still think it's that I don't think we win 13 games last year with Jim Harbaugh. I just don't think it happens.
How,
I like.
how are you going to feel when he goes to the Bears?
You know, I'm gonna feel a certain type of way. So you didn't take the Vikings job, but you're gonna go across the way over there. Hey,
Well,
let me
he
ask you.
used to play for the Bears.
That's true.
Mm.
That's true. That's true.
Now he wanted the job, though. I think he wanted the job. I don't think we wanted to
he
give
did.
it to him. Yeah, he wanted it.
Yeah, he did.
He wanted
He
that job, which
He was
I
walking.
think he was
walking in
shocked.
there.
I think he was
in
shocked.
there.
Yeah.
He was walking in there like, okay, whatever I sign, let's go ahead and get this press release ready. And they were like, hold on, let's talk for a second.
They said, put your tie up a little bit. We gotta get this interview.
I like him, man. I like him though. I like his quirkiness. I know in college, maybe it works more in college because these are young men, you know, and you're in the NFL with a bunch of grown ass men, you know, some 30-plus-year-old. You may not be able to talk to him like that. I like O'Connell, man. I like the hire because it had to be the polar opposite of Zimmer.
Right.
It had to be because Zimmer worked until it got stale. You can't bring that same type of coach in there. It sucks because you have somebody like Brian Flores that if there's like any type, oh, well, he's a defensive guy, or oh, he's not happy-go-lucky. So we got to kind of stay away from that. It's just I think we had such a sour taste in our mouth towards the end of the Zimmer chair that those defensive guys just don't do it for us. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Hey, but it's about what? Shoot, we've been going 45. My dog's got out the fence. Hey, everybody, click the link.
Absolutely.
Now I won't announce it, but just know you guys are going to be seeing these faces around. So, hey, thanks again for jumping in.
Thank you. We appreciate you so much.
Hey,
really.
tell the people. Do you guys have any special time slots? Do you guys do a live on a certain day? Let them know.
Go ahead, Zach, because I know you run all the operations.
Yeah. So right now, you know, we edit all the videos, and me and Dre do the show. We've been doing Zoom, but we're trying to look into going live eventually. So we just kind of been, you know, creating our own stuff and editing all the videos, and we post them out there. Obviously, like small clips on TikTok, Twitter, things like that.
Right.
It's all Skol Sessions, so it's the same name.
And I feel like we do at least 2 videos a week. We try to at least do a recap. We got something called Midweek Huddle where we'll kind of go over the opponent coming up, and it may be something. We have something called State Your Case, where, as an example, Zach may be like, if Kirk Cousins comes back, we're winning the Super Bowl. You have to defend that case. So we have a lot of cool, kind of exciting topics, but we try to drop, you know, at least 2 videos for, you know, everybody a week. So it's fun, man. This is fun talking Vikings football, man.
Hell yeah. hey, and you guys stay on the line backstage because I'm gonna propose something for you guys, and the people might like it.
Okay, awesome, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for having us on,
everybody.
Man.
Skol Vikings. Let's get this W Sunday.
Oh,
yes, sir. Skol.